There's your case.
Ooh. Brilliant, man.
Did you Crescend?
I gotta know, you make all that up on the fly?
For a made-up story, it makes a great deal of sense, Darian.
The Republic of Virginia? Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there.
True, you haven't.
Huh, let's see you make up a story for that, kid. How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh?
It's not so hard to imagine. You had help, a Borginian accomplice. That's all.
Huh?
That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lemoir heard proves it.
It's over. Press the switch, now.
You made this transmission from backstage, while your co-conspirator was on stage.
But who was it?
The one who missed notes on the piano. Was it actually Machi Tobai? This is it, the coup de grace. And for once I know what I'm doing! Do you? There's only one person who could have helped him. Only one person who could be.
Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say then. But be warned, with a great accusation comes great responsibility. Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice?
So, the only people on stage were Prosecutor Gavin, Lemoir, who is currently underground, and Machi Tobai. Right? Of the people we have. Or Valen Grammary. He's around somewhere. He could have been on there. I think we're going to try Machi Tobai because he was actually really freaking out about the cocoon earlier. There's only one person who meets all the requirements of the accomplice, and that person is the defendant, Machi Tobai.
But Mr. Justice, he's your client.
A defense attorney accusing his client? That's a new one.
I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I am here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche, and I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime.
Indeed, the defendant is Borginian. He doesn't meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was in fact Lemoir?
It couldn't have been.
Well, you seem sure of yourself.
The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor.
Electronic signals?
Recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless.
Yes, that's true.
Now, think back to the testimony. When the shooter made this transmission, Lemoir was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air vent.
Well, looking at this, it seems that Lemoir still could have done the deed.
No. When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here, because it was up in the air! It was in the middle of the guitar serenade. Part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and the Lemoir stand-in were up top. They were on a tower, which happens to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lemoir's position in the air vent. Well, Detective Crescend, what do you say to that?
Your Honor?
Yes, Detective?
Can we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns? I'd like to watch something burn. Just one more time.
Well, I don't see why not, sure.
What? Don't tell me he has a way out of this. But a fleeting melody. It wraps itself around me, and now through in the air I fly. Yeah. Ah ha ha ha. Too bad, so sad.
Too bad, so sad, punk.
Punk? First you were sleeves, then kid, now punk?
You're losing rank fast, Apollo.
What exactly were we supposed to see in this video?
The problem isn't in what we see, correct, Darian?
Right, it's what you hear. We are musicians after all.
Care to explain for us non-musicians?
Sure thing, punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the weird pianist to set off that igniter? That right?
Yes?
Well, in order to do that, he'd have to press a switch. Am I right?
Okay.
Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano.
Piano. We see that flash. Is that the piano doesn't stop?
What seems to be the problem there? The piano sounded just fine.
That's the problem. The piano sounded fine.
And that's the problem, man. You still don't get it?
Ah!
Yeah, how's he supposed to hit that switch if he's playing? You got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums.
It was in the piano! All he had to do was press an extra key to set off the switch!
The only one with her hands free was the diva. Lemon, what? According to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out if they couldn't even press a switch.
I think that's how it had to have been done. I wish this music was a little better and a little less, like, MIDI sounding. The piano plays non-stop. He couldn't have pressed that switch. Yeah, he coulda. Yeah, he coulda. I'm already one step ahead of the game for this one.
Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire.
Well,
It's alright. It's okay. We all make mistakes sometimes.
Apollo, were you wrong? I can't be wrong. Not ever. Everything makes perfect sense. How could it all just... Strange? What's strange? You're strange! Shut up, Gavin! No, it's just... Something's odd about the performance there. Odd?
Mr. Justice, if Machitobai didn't press that switch, then he could not be the accomplice you claim he is.
But everything points to it. Every fact says that he's the accomplice.
You got the facts wrong, man. Here's some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire, but the pianist didn't press that switch. In other words, your story is full of holes.
Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant Machitobai the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you said here. Give it some thought.
Apollo, if Machi's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined.
I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He had to have pressed that switch.
Well, you better find a way to prove it.
What do I do? What do I do?
There has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd.
Something odd. Wait a second.
What? You thought of something?
What was Gavin saying just now? Strange? What's strange? You're strange. Shut up. No, it's just something's odd about the performance there. It's not much to go on, but it's all I've got. What exactly did he hear that was odd?
Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this. Can you prove Machitobai pressed that switch? Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove that Machitobai pressed that switch?
I can prove it! I don't know if you call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible. and as prosecutor, it falls on me to ask you to show us evidence supporting this. Hair forehead, you're sure about this?
Huh, accept it. There's no evidence, man.
Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice. On what do you base your claim that the defendant pressed the switch?
Let's listen to this mixing board first, because I think it's the mixing board. So 4 is the piano. It'd be here. Was it here? Let's listen to them back. That's the piano, right? That's the drums. That's the bass. Isn't there already an Ace Attorney musical? Right there, he hits it really hard. Let's try it. The basis for my claim is music, Your Honor. Haha.
Music? What about music?
Let's listen to the piano part around the time when the switch was to be pressed. Right before the guitar burst into flame. He hits it really hard. Yeah, you can hear that kind of weird piano.
I hear a piano being played.
But doesn't it sound kind of simple?
Simple?
I think I know what he's suggesting. You think Machi could have played that part with one hand?
One hand?
He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with the other hand. Ha, but so, what?
Wants you some kind of piano savant?
Actually, no.
Then what do you know? You can't play a part like that with one hand.
Maybe. I don't know what I'm talking about here.
Wait, I know.
Oh, wait, I know. Hey, Trucy!
Yeah? You got something?
Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist. Could he?
Oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands.
So sorry, so sad for you.
No, not really.
Huh?
That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way.
Man, how are you going to prove whether he played it with one hand or 2? You can't.
I admit it will be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with one hand.
How do you know that?
The clue is what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd. What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song.
No way.
Well, it seems we've come to the moment of truth at last. Let's see what Mr. Justice has to say for himself. Show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with one hand. Right before the guitar burst into flame.
Machi was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire. And one section of the song proves it. Proof he played one-handed. It's right there. It cuts short. Let me listen to it again. It's right there. Dum dum dum. Click. Bum. It's the second measure of part 4.
That's the section? I'm afraid I don't hear it. What's your opinion as an artist, Prosecutor Gavin?
It's a beautiful song, and the lyrics are outstanding.
I take that to mean there isn't a problem with this section at all.
Wait, so what was the odd thing that Gavin heard? Switch is pressed in the first half of the second verse, right? I know, I just need to find a place to compare to that. Your Honor, if you'll give me one more chance, I think I can find it.
I suppose we don't have a choice. Very well. You claim the defendant was playing with one hand when the switch was pressed? Show us the part that proves it.
Machi was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire, and one section of the song proves it. Alright, I didn't get a penalty for that. So is it happen again, but it's more complicated? It's the last section. There's a lot more going on here.
That's the section? I'm afraid I don't hear it. What's your opinion as an artist, Prosecutor Gavin?
It's a beautiful song. It's the same stuff. Okay. Alright. Well, let's try the third section then. I mean, process of elimination, we're just gonna get it eventually, right? That's the section. Okay. First section. Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you've realized by now just what it was that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you've realized it yourself, Hair Forehead.
Realize what?
I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the "but a fleeting melody" phrase. Pleasure, but a fleeting melody.
Man, how many times we have to listen to the same thing? I hate listening to music. I don't rehearse or play songs over and over again at all.
You're right, enough of that. Huh? Let's listen to another section, shall we?
Another section?
The guitar burst into flame at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot in the first verse. Pay attention to "Oh That Night in Your Embrace."
Play verse 2 again.
No! We didn't want to. We're gonna do it. Yeah, he just went dum dum rather than bum bum bum.
They feel the same, true, but they're clearly very different.
What? Well put, Your Honor. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You'd have to use two hands to play that for sure.
What's that prove?
I would think you'd know that by now.
This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. So the two verses had different arrangements.
Not this time, Darian. There's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had him placed specifically so that the piano would stay in the background. That was what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different, I asked myself. Ask yourselves why Machi changed how he played, and there's only one answer. He needed a free hand to press a switch. No! Boing.
Order! 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 I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
Yes, quite. Though personally, this comes as a terrible disappointment. What? No comeback? I can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up.
Very well. Barring an objection from the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter.
Good show, Sleeves. No, great show. It's not over? I don't like it when he looks so happy.
You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing.
Personally, I'm terribly disappointed in you, Hair Forehead.
Huh? Me?
Yeah, don't get me wrong, your case is solid. The facts all check out. But even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence. Yeah, but the facts anyone can see, it was him.
Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. I'm afraid your case doesn't cut it.
But...
1,000 facts might point toward the same conclusion, but without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system.
I don't believe it.
It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present.
Oh, I think if he did, we already would have seen it a long ways back.
It is unfortunate, but at present this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation.
What? The truth is staring us all right in the face. Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals?
Apollo, remember what Daddy said? You know, don't use conventional methods?
It won't be easy proving he did it, especially not under the current court system. So what do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Darian Crescend's igniter and set it up. Am I literally just gonna press the button on the thing and find out that he's literally carrying an igniter in his jacket? Am I gonna set a man on fire right now in the middle of court?
Let's press the button.
I wonder what he meant by every man's igniter.
He was being literal. I think he just meant a weak spot, no? The kind of thing that a single spark could turn into a wildfire of emotion? I won't be able to press him further by conventional means. I gotta find a weak spot in this guy. Something fatal. Literally fatal. Literally, I'm going to kill you.
So can I get back to work now or what? It may look like I've got a lot of time on my hands, but I got no more time to play pretend with this dead right attorney.
With that much hairspray, lighting him on fire? Oh my god.
Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness will be coming back to the stand once we let him go.
Every man has an igniter. Huh? Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin? Ah, yes. Good guitars are kept dry, is why. That provides the best sound. Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plan has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning.
What?
Fighting time, Justice. If you blow this one, he'll be out of your hands for good.
Go for it, Apollo.
What, and this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney.
All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry. And I intend to hear this one through to the very end. I get my bongos and snap my fingers. Hair Forehead. You are accusing this man Darian Crescend of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Latus and the smuggling of a Borginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case.
This trial has already run on far too long. Mr. Justice, this will be my last warning. The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud is the moment this cross-examination ends. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then let's have it. Show us the basis for these accusations against Darian Crescend.
Okay, this is really my last chance. The key that will take apart Darian Crescend's plan is... call a witness. Can I save here? I'm really curious what happens if you say call a witness. Let's present evidence. The defense is prepared to show the court evidence.
Huh, be my guest.
Be all of our guests, Mr. Justice. Put our service to the test. Try the gray stuff. It's delicious.
Let's just try the remote trigger.
This is your igniter.
So exactly how am I supposed to react to that?
Ah, he's not flustered at all. I picked a dud. I'm afraid your poetic tale ended up to be a mere fantasy.
Reality bites, Mr. Justice. Penalty.
Oh no! Ow, 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 ow. Try once more. Show us
the basis for your accusation against Darian Crescend.
Think, Justice. Are you sure about this? The key that will take Darian's... Is it a witness? I want to try the igniter literally, just to see what happens. And then maybe I'll reload. Literally the igniter. No, it's the same dialogue. I don't get to light him on fire? Fine. We're gonna reload that. That would have been great though, right? Okay, it seems like we don't literally just go boop. Man, what that's how I want to do it. Where it was just gonna be like ha 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 click, and then he just like ignites in the middle of the stand. Alright, I guess we call a witness? Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence.
Huh? So what is...
It is true that I couldn't show decisive evidence, but perhaps what I needed to prove my case was something else. You mean a witness? Proving his guilt's a tall order, but I've got just the person to do it.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person who can prove Darian Crescend's guilt?
I'm guessing Machi Tobai, because he was about to get hung out to dry and is his accomplice. Let's try it. The one person who can prove Darian Crescend's guilt is the defendant, Machi Tobai.
Your client? Again?
I really wanted to just light him on fire. I'm so disappointed that that's not the way. Maybe there's still time. Machi Tobai was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darian Crescend could not have gotten the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case.
How so?
It would require just one of the very cocoons Mr. Latouche was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Borginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon would leave a particular residue. A residue we would no doubt also find inside the burnt out guitar.
Aha! Very scientific of you.
Thus, if Machi Tobai acknowledges his agreement with Darian Crescend concerning the attempted smuggling of a Borginian cocoon, the case is solved.
Darian's laughing again. Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to.
Why not?
Little key tickler won't acknowledge anything, especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling.
What's this all about?
Taking a cocoon out of the country means death by Borginian law.
Ah! Yeah, see? If our pianist really was a smuggler, then testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking.
But you're wrong, Detective Crescend.
What?
It's the other way around. If Machi doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble.
Huh? What? Why?
Look, if Machi admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country.
Ah.
The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Borginia, and they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today, including the part about the Borginian cocoon.
Yeah, but... Bonk! Bonk, 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 bonk.
Getting teabagged by your own hair. But if Machi doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Borginian police. And it's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not gonna find him guilty of murder here. Not now.
Yeah, but you can't do this. You can't accuse me.
Maybe the law doesn't allow it. But who's gonna think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? The same goes for Machi Tobai.
Bonk.
The cocoon smuggling, your entire plan. Machi Tobai knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him, and that's to acknowledge his own crime. He's got to throw you under the bus so that he can hit by a lesser bus. The crime of cocoon smugglogalo.
Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace. A hidden mansion? Real nice. Yeah. You want a house made out of cookies? Oh, no. A house made out of pianos. Oh, no, why not? Why not? It's a great place to live. Pianos are awesome. Really lots of hardwood. Come on. Please.
Oh, whoa! Whoa! We've got ignition! We've got liftoff! Oh, no. Oh. Whoop. Yep. Alright. Darian, I consider that my last session with you. We rocked. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession.
Uh-oh, he's laughing again. There's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though.
Well, have you been listening to today's trial?
Yes.
And you'll talk? You'll tell this court everything?
I didn't want it to turn out this way, but I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know. I see no reason why you should hesitate now.
I knew from beginning, I knew.
Machi.
Situation I cannot explain, but money. I needed very much money.
Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in a court of law is evidence. This is the golden rule. However,
it has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard.
Should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Machi Tobai?
Yes.
I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And with regards to the current charges for the murder of Mr. Latouche, this court is prepared to announce a verdict.
Thank you. Only lie, but you see truth. You find truth.
That's our job. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Machi Tobai, not guilty. Not guilty of the murder times. Guilty of a lot of other things, but, you know, we don't kill you now. Court is adjourned.
Whew! Alright, we did it, kind of. I think that's the most guilty I've seen one of our defendants be. Like, he's still kind of guilty, just not a murderer.
I wonder what'll happen to Machi.
Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia. I guess there'll be another trial here. All's well that ends well.
Daddy! I owe you both my things.
Lamoire,
Is something wrong?
I'm sorry, Machi was your partner on stage. Your friend.
Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now, I do. Yet, something got a hold of him.
something evil. I see that. And he must pay for what he has done. Is it not how it should be?
I'm still sorry.
Do not be sorry. You have given me courage.
Courage.
I am considering an eye operation.
It was my suggestion, actually.
You mean you'll be able to see again?
What does she have that... Does she just have, like, cataracts or something?
It's funny, I have always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving.
According to the doctor, Lenoir lost her sight due to some kind of accident. An accident?
As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I have been running from. I was scared.
You know what changed your mind? Hearing your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth.
If the light returns to my eyes, I think I will take up painting.
Painting?
That's right. She's the landscape painter in sound, after all. And those skills just translate over immediately.
I will paint the two of you, I promise.
I'm not a landscape. That's a bad Yo Mama joke.
Woohoo! I can't wait, Lenoir.
I owe you my thanks too, Apollo. Thanks, Mr. Wright. But for what? You reminded me I needed to hurry things along. On my secret mission, that is. What? Right. Your secret mission, right.
Apollo, Lucy, I hope that we will meet again someday soon.
You bet, me too.
And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on, until it came to the end. Thanks to the trial, the guitar's serenade was a huge hit. Prosecutor Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad,
have them catch the killer at the end.
boom, 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 boom. That's the end of the sing-song serenade, twist and turnabout. Thanks for watching that, everybody. We've knocked through 3 cases. Next time we're going to do number 4, Turnabout Succession. I don't know what that's about. Is it about kings? I guess we'll find out next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. That's all for tonight. Bye for now.